Okay, so today we're talking about human frequency.
Is pretty wild stuff, right?
Wild is an understatement. I mean, this is like ancient secrets combined with cutting-edge science.
Great.
And honestly, the whole idea that we're basically like vibrating beings, it kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, it definitely stretches the imagination a little bit.
A little bit.
But when you really get into it, it's surprisingly grounded in science.
So how does it work?
Well, think about it this way.
Okay.
Everything in the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest star, is in a constant state of motion,
Motion.
of vibration,
Okay.
and we're no different.
So we're like walking, talking symphonies or something.
I like
I
that.
kind of love that imagery. But, okay, for those tuning in who maybe this is their first deep dive with us, can you break down what we actually mean by vibration and frequency?
Absolutely.
Because I feel like those get thrown around a lot,
Yeah.
but maybe not everyone totally gets it.
So imagine a guitar string.
Okay.
Have you ever, plucked a guitar string?
Who hasn't? I'm more of an air guitar kind of gal myself.
Okay, well, even in your air guitar solo, that string is vibrating.
Oh.
That back and forth motion.
Yeah.
That's what we mean by vibration.
Oh.
Frequency, on the other hand, that tells us how often that vibration happens.
Okay.
Over a certain period of time, usually a second.
Gotcha.
So if our guitar string vibrates, say, 440 times per second,
Okay.
we say it has a frequency of 440 hertz.
Hertz.
Exactly.
Okay.
So the faster the vibration, the higher the frequency, and the higher the pitch of the sound that we hear.
Okay, so it's like our bodies are designed to pick up on these like subtle energies all around us.
That's a great way to put it.
Like, have you ever stood next to like a giant speaker at a concert?
Oh, yeah.
You can feel that like in your chest,
Yeah.
like those low frequency sound waves.
Absolutely.
It's intense.
You can feel it.
Yeah.
That's low-frequency sound waves in action.
Wow. And it's not even just sound. Right?
No, not at all.
Like, our world is like surrounded by these electromagnetic fields, EMFs. Everywhere. Generated by everything. Our phones, power lines.
Everything.
And they vibrate too.
They do.
And those frequencies, I mean, that can really impact us.
They can, yeah.
That's kind of a big deal.
It is, and it's something most people don't think about.
Okay, that's honestly both really cool, but also kind of like low-key terrifying.
I get that.
Because we can't even see these EMFs.
Right.
So how do we even know that they're there?
Well, that's where the science gets really interesting.
Okay.
Researchers can actually see how our brain waves change when we're exposed to different frequencies.
No way. Really?
Yeah, they use a technique called EEG,
EEG.
electroencephalography.
It's a mouthful.
It is.
Yeah.
But basically,
Huh.
they're looking at the electrical activity in your brain.
Okay.
And it turns out that when we're stressed or anxious,
Yeah.
our brain waves tend to be faster,
Okay.
more erratic.
Makes sense.
But when we're relaxed and focused,
Like meditating or something.
exactly, like during meditation, our brain waves actually slow down.
Uh-huh.
They become more rhythmic.
So it's like our brains have their own like personal soundtracks depending on our mood.
Exactly. And there are other tools too, like heart rate variability, HRV.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that.
It looks at the subtle variations in the time between your heartbeats.
Okay.
And it turns out those tiny variations, they can tell us a lot about your stress levels, your emotional regulation, even how resilient you are to challenges.
Wow. So much information from our heartbeats.
It's incredible.
That's wild. So, okay, we've got these invisible frequencies all around us.
Yeah.
We're only now really starting to understand how they might be influencing our health and well-being.
It's true.
But this wasn't always a mystery, right?
No, not always.
Like, our research mentioned that ancient civilizations were onto this whole frequency thing way before modern science.
Well, yeah, long before we had the technology, for sure.
So they were kind of tuned into something that, like, we're just now rediscovering.
In a way, yeah.
The research you sent me mentioned the Egyptians using, like, sound and music in their healing rituals.
They did. They really did.
Like, what's the deal with that?
The ancient Egyptians were really onto something.
Okay.
They believed that certain sounds could harmonize, like, the body and spirit.
Wow.
And it wasn't just the Egyptians either.
Right.
Almost every ancient culture incorporated sound and music into their spiritual practices in some way.
Huh. Makes you wonder, like, what did they understand about these frequencies that maybe we're just now starting to grasp?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really?
Take the ancient Greeks, for example.
Okay.
They were really fascinated by the power of sound.
Really?
Oh, yeah. They believed that music could actually influence your emotions and even your physical health.
Wow.
Think about it. Even today, we still talk about music being in a certain key
Right.
to, like, evoke specific feelings.
Totally, yeah, like minor key, sad, major key, happy. It's like ingrained in us.
And that concept has been around for centuries.
It's amazing how much ancient wisdom is like being backed up by modern science.
I know, it's incredible.
But when did we start actually trying to like measure and understand these frequencies from a scientific perspective?
Well, our research points to the 19th century as kind of a turning point.
Okay.
That's when scientists really started digging into like the physics behind sound waves,
Okay.
how they travel, how they interact with matter, all of that.
So how do they work?
Well, they quickly realized that our bodies give off their own unique vibrational frequencies.
So it's a relatively recent development in human history.
It is relatively recent.
That's kind of exciting though, right?
It is exciting.
Like there's still so much more to discover.
Absolutely. The research is just beginning.
Speaking of exciting discoveries, you know what really caught my eye in this research?
What's that?
This whole idea of specific frequencies having like healing properties.
Okay.
Specifically, the love frequency, 528 hertz.
Oh, yes. 528 hertz.
Is it really all it's cracked up to be?
It's definitely one of the more popular frequencies in the sound healing world.
Really?
Proponents of it claim that 528 hertz resonates with the frequency of, love, compassion, even DNA repair.
DNA repair, come on.
That's what they say.
I mean, I'll try anything.
They say listening to it can promote emotional balance, reduce stress,
Okay.
maybe even boost your mood.
Okay, I have to admit, even if it's just a placebo effect,
Sure.
sign me up. Have you ever experimented with it? 528 hertz.
I'm more of a skeptic personally,
Mhm.
but I could definitely see why people are drawn to this idea
Yeah,
that certain frequencies might have these therapeutic benefits.
right.
And there actually is some fascinating research emerging
Really?
that suggests certain frequencies might have a measurable effect on our physical and emotional states.
Like what?
Well, take 432 hertz, for example.
432 hertz, okay.
It's often called the universal frequency
Why is that?
because it's said to be mathematically consistent with the frequencies found in nature,
What do you mean?
like the vibrations of plant life,
Okay.
even the Earth's electromagnetic field.
So it's like our bodies are tuned into, like, nature's orchestra.
That's the idea.
That's cool.
Some people find that listening to music tuned to 432 hertz can be incredibly calming and grounding.
Really?
Yeah, very relaxing.
Okay, I'm adding that to my playlist for sure.
Check it out.
You know, all this talk about specific frequencies reminds me of something else I read about, the solfeggio frequencies.
Ah, yes, the solfeggio frequencies.
How do those fit into all of this?
So the solfeggio frequencies are a set of 6 ancient musical tones
Okay.
that are believed to have various healing properties.
I'm intrigued.
They were rediscovered back in the 1970s,
Okay.
and each frequency is associated with specific benefits.
Okay. I am all ears. Break it down for me. What are these magical frequencies and what can they do?
All right, imagine you're feeling stuck in a rut,
Ugh, yeah, I've been there.
weighed down by past mistakes. Proponents of sound healing suggest that the 417 hertz frequency could be your sonic remedy.
Okay.
It encourages positive change,
Okay.
helps you break free from those negative patterns.
Okay, so 417 hertz is like the undo button for bad vibes.
That's one way to put it.
I like it. What else is there?
Well, let's say you're feeling anxious or fearful.
Okay.
The 396 hertz frequency is associated with kind of liberating yourself from those feelings.
Okay.
Think of it as a sonic cleanser for your emotional palate.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot.
And then there's 639 hertz.
Wait, 639 hertz? That one rings a bell.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's because it's often linked to enhancing relationships and promoting connection.
Interesting.
In fact, some people believe that meditating with this frequency can amplify feelings of love and harmony.
Meditation? I see what you did there. Okay, so how does meditation tie into all of this frequency talk? And what's so special about 639 hertz in that context? Okay, so meditation, 639 hertz, how does that all work together?
Well, remember how we were talking about brainwaves having their own frequencies?
Yeah, like our own personal soundtracks.
Exactly. When we meditate, we can actually influence those brainwave frequencies,
Really?
shifting them into a more relaxed and coherent state.
So we're like tuning our brains with meditation.
That's a great way to think about it.
That's wild. So where does the 639 hertz come in?
Well, some people believe that 639 hertz can actually help facilitate that process.
Okay.
They use something called binaural beats,
Binaural beats? Okay.
which are basically just 2 slightly different frequencies
Okay.
played separately into each ear
Okay.
to kind of gently guide the brain into specific states.
And those include like meditation and relaxation.
Exactly.
So you're saying I can like hack my brain with sound to chill out and boost my relationships all at the same time.
Well, it's certainly an area of ongoing research.
Okay.
But even if you approach it with, a healthy dose of skepticism, there's no denying that meditation, especially when it's combined with sound, can be really powerful.
For sure, for sure. So for those of us like me who are a little newer to meditation, what are some practical tips to get started? Like, can I just crank 639 hertz on my noise-canceling headphones and, wait for a miracle to happen?
It's not quite as simple as that, unfortunately. Setting the right environment is really important.
Okay, so, what do I do?
Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed, for one.
Okay.
Dim the lights, maybe light a candle or two, if you're into that.
Set the mood. Okay.
Exactly. And find a comfortable position, sitting or lying down,
Okay.
where you can really relax completely.
Okay, so, set the mood for inner peace.
Exactly.
Gotcha. What else?
You can find guided meditations online that incorporate 639 hertz binaural beats.
Okay.
There are apps that generate those frequencies too.
So many options.
Or you could simply put on some calming music that's tuned to 639 hertz
Okay.
and just focus on your breath. As you breathe in and out, imagine yourself aligning with that frequency, embodying those feelings of love, harmony, and connection.
I can dig it. We've covered so much in this deep dive, from the science of sound waves to ancient healing practices. It really makes you wonder, what else is there to learn about this stuff? What are some of the exciting new frontiers in this field that you're most intrigued by?
There is so much potential. Scientists are exploring vibrational therapy,
Okay.
which uses specific frequencies to target the areas of the body to promote healing.
Wow. Okay.
There's a growing interest in how these EMFs impact our health
Right.
and how we can minimize any potential harm,
Right.
but also maybe harness their benefits.
Yeah.
We're really just at the tip of the iceberg in understanding how these invisible forces shape our lives.
It's kind of like we're entering a whole new era of understanding human potential.
It really is.
One where we can use sound and vibration to optimize our health, enhance our well-being, maybe even tap into abilities that we didn't even know we had.
I love that. And it all starts with awareness.
Okay.
By paying attention to the sounds around us, exploring that ancient wisdom, and embracing new scientific discoveries, we can start to really understand how these frequencies influence us
Yeah.
and learn to work with them in a way that benefits our lives and the lives of others.
That is a powerful thought to end on. So to everyone listening, I encourage you to explore this world a little bit, experiment, be curious, and see what you discover. You might just be surprised at what you find. And hey, maybe we'll do a follow-up deep dive on this topic in the future. Until then, thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of human frequency.